Today we'll show how to make the steering wheel softer in a otherwise good vehicle with good front end. So good front end means like it has good tie rod ends, control arms, wheel bearings, sway bar links, and suspension struts or shocks. So this vehicle has all these, and it has a brand new power steering pump as well. So power steering is working otherwise fine, very nice now after the new power steering pump. The steering actually works excellent, like very nice at idle. It's at idle now, so works very smooth. But the reason I'm gonna show this is despite all these, and wheel alignment is of course wheel alignment is good. It's been done after all the suspension change. Some people might find that the steering is bit tight, especially if someone is driving for a long time on sustained driving. They might find the softer is better. So what happens is, this is the just a rough cartoon, a sketch showing what is what here. Steering wheel, as we turn, it moves the rack. I think this is called rack and this is called pinion. Don't kill me if I'm wrong. So this is connected to the top, and as this one turns, goes over, brings this guy back and forth, and these ends are connected to the tie rod ends and to the wheel, tie rod end and to the wheel. So right here in Hondas, other vehicles has similar things. There's an adjusting screw. This adjusting screw can be adjusted to make sure how tightly this rack will be sitting on this pinion. If it's too tight or gotten tight over the time, slightly loosening it up will make sure that the steering is not jamming between these two. It shouldn't jam between these two. This shouldn't be jammed hard. And sometimes that is the case, that they over torqued, because this screw, once it's open, loosened and tightened, it should be only 3.9 foot-pound for Hondas, Honda Odyssey, Honda Pilot, Acuras, Acura Integra, I think Acura RDX, MDX, this kind of bigger vehicles. It should be only, I think, 3.9 foot-pound, or I can't remember the Newton meter. Anyway, it's almost like finger tight, little more than that, and then back off by 20 degrees. That's how loosely this rack should be sitting on the pinions. Sometimes definitely it's tighter than that. So I'll show you how to open that and how to release that little bit. So we need to jack up the car securely and make sure the jack stands are underneath and behind the car. Wheel blocks are there. Jack up the car, and front driver's side front wheel, if we take that off, it helps actually. Tools needed are not much. There is a lock nut holding that adjusting screw. To open that, a special tool can be used, but I'm going to use a chisel and hammer to release the lock nut, and then a regular I think, what is it, 5/8 or something, or half inch regular drive actually goes inside that screw, and we can open that. But before that, we gotta mark the logo position, so we need a marker as well, white marker, a white marker like this to mark the location now first. So jack up the car and then I'll show. It's better to have an extension like this. I think we need this size, but to extend I added that. So this is the front of the vehicle, driver's side front wheel. Now after jacking it up, go underneath. I'll show the location where it is. So underneath, there's the front wheel. So the front tie rod ends comes. Right here is the right there. The soyber link kind of on the way, right there. The red one, I already marked it there. So we need a mark like this, right there, the white mark. There's the adjusting bolt. This is the one pressing the rack on the pinion. If it's too tight, the rack cannot really move easily. So they did keep it adjusting screw, they call it actually. And that's the outside ring, the red one. That's the rusted red. There's the lock nut. Yeah, that's the lock nut. So I chiseled it right on the lock nut. It got right on the lock nut. It tried to tap it. I think it's 38, number 38 or number 40 socket will open it. That one, number 30 or number 40. And the center is just regular ratchet, the center. So once the lock nut is loose, can release the center, turn it like open it, turn it anti-clockwise, open it slightly, maybe till I set it at, mark it at 9 o'clock, maybe bring it to 6-7 o'clock position from there, and then at 8 o'clock we can tighten the lock nut. That should give enough looseness to the steering and not too much. And if it's too loose, then just the other way, like set it to 10 o'clock. And it's 20 degrees usually, like ideally take it like release it fully and then tighten it finger tight, and then back off by 20 degrees. I'll try to open this now. It's not easy. So I managed to turn it by about 20 degrees. Now it's around the 8 o'clock position, as you can see. So don't want to overdo it. Slightly release the pressure on the rack and see how the steering feels, and lock the lock nut. Now saying this, this is pretty difficult job, and there is a special tool Honda sells to release that lock nut too. Now I'm gonna test how good is the steering wheel, if there's any change at all. Okay, so let's see. So I must say we have used this impact to eventually release that that screw, the guide adjusting screw, or guide screw it's called. It's also called yoke screw, either yoke bolt or yoke screw, like YOKE. Now I used this extension about this long, then it can fit there, and this tape. Show it better. To open that, and then tighten that surrounding ring without moving the center one. So when you open lock the lock nut, the center cannot start moving again, it's gonna get tightened. So better to have that the tool that's like Honda sells a tool, so it holds the inside while you can still tighten the outside, or you can make one. Okay, so hope this helps. I'll try to put a detailed tutorial or instructional video on front end suspension and front end steering, how like various components and how it works, how various components work related to tightness and wheel alignment and these things. So stay tuned. Okay, thanks.